Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Welcome, 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 welcome. Musisi, aka Olalekan, Chinedu. You have to answer that one as well. And AA, you're both here already. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Happy new month, everyone. All heavens declares the glory of the living God. Who can compare the beauty of the Lord? Forever you will be the Lamb upon the throne. I gladly bow my knee and worship you alone. I will proclaim the glory of the risen Lord, who was slain to reconcile us to God. Forever you will be the Lamb upon the throne. I gladly bow my knee to worship you alone. I will proclaim the glory of the risen Lord, who was slain to reconcile man to God. Forever you will be the Lamb upon the throne. I gladly bow my knee to worship you alone. Hello, Miss Bimbo family. Thank you so much for coming, Bimbo. You're very welcome. Rose Hujo, thank you for coming. Good evening. Yes, good evening to you. And happy and blessed new month to everyone. This is the first month of August, so we are going to praise and worship God. Our live stream today will not be long because I have an appointment that I have to attend at 5:30, which is an hour and a half from now. So I'll be aiming to finish between 5 and that's 5:30. Anytime around that time will be fine for us to finish. I have something that we want us to discuss today, which I would love to be interactive. I'm going to share something that somebody, told me about, and the person will either be in the background listening to the discussion, or they will replay the live stream. So I would like it to be interactive. What we're going to be discussing, you saw the thumbnail. So we're going to discuss that because all of us here, I know Musisi as a guy, he's not yet married, but eventually, by God's grace, he will get married if that is his wish. Because that's another thing we always think about. Oh, how old are you? You're not yet married. When are you getting married? That kind of nonsense must stop. If somebody decides that they don't want to, or they want to wait, for as long as they want to wait, it's none of anybody's business. So this idea of asking, oh, you're not yet married, this and that, must not be happening. But what we're going to be discussing today obviously will involve the man. Obviously, you can't be a daughter-in-law without getting married to a man. So what we're going to discuss will involve a man. It will involve a mother like me, who is a mother-in-law as well. It will involve me as well, somebody like myself as mother-in-law. And it will involve most of you here who are young mothers. Rose, you're a young mom. Miss Bimbo, you are a young mom. AA, you are a youngish mom. I know your children are going to uni and stuff like that, but they're still, when they're at that age, they're still young. So you're also a young mom. Oh, Jenny Onyinye, you're welcome to the house. I'm sure, Jenny, you're also a young mom. So that means that you all are daughter-in-laws to somebody. Whether your own mother-in-law is still alive or not, it doesn't matter. So what we're going to discuss today will just cover everything because of what somebody shared with me. And obviously I've advised them as much as I can, but I felt it's also good to bring it to this platform today so we can talk about it, especially because I know that most of my listeners are young moms. And so I thought it would be a good idea to discuss this today. Peaceful family, you're very welcome. Thank you for coming. Blessed at the countryside, thank you for coming. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you all. Thank you. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning within. Thou changest not, thy compassions, they fail not. Thou hast been, thou forever will be. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, your unto me. What did Moses say? Hey, it's not a young mom because she is until Lelaka. Okay then. Okay then. Hey, you're not a young mom, your auntie to Olaleka. Oh, my sister Ned is in the house. Thank you, sis, for coming. Thank you, everyone. I hope you're all giving me thumb up as you're all coming in. I appreciate you all being here today. Summer and winter and springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars and their courses above, join with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Yes, welcome everyone. Yes, Nan is my immediate senior sister. She's based in America. You're welcome to the house, sis. She's always here most Sundays supporting me, especially now that she's on holiday. She has some time. And although she still does when she was still, when the school was still on. So thank you, sis, for being here. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. As I said before, some of you came in, the live stream will be finishing on or before 5:30, which is another hour and 15 minutes. It's going to be a short one. We're going to have this discussion, and I would love people to come up to just share their own idea, give an idea of what I'm going to discuss today. As I say, depending on my thumbnail, in my thumbnail, I only put daughter-in-law before, but then because of how the person shared the information with me, but I have to add mother-in-law as well, because I don't think there will be any daughter-in-law without mother-in-law. So I have to add that as well. And it's going to be a quick discussion, just something the person raised with me. I'll tell you people what I told the person, and I'll also like your own ideas, because you must have, if you are not yet married, one day, if you wish to get married, you'll be a daughter-in-law, and by God's grace, one day you'll be a mother-in-law as well. So it's going to affect everyone. You look beautiful, ma. Oh, peaceful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Right, the last verse of the song. Pardon for sin and a peace that endureth, then on their presence to cheer and to guide, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. Blessings all mine with 10,000 beside. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Please just give me a minute. I'll be with you shortly. Right, before we proceed, let us just have our quick time of prayer to thank God for this new month that we just entered. Today is the 6th of August. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. That is already 6th of August. By next weekend, we're talking of middle of August. Time flies. And we have to thank God for making it possible for each and every one of us to see this month of August. So, Father, yes, please share the live stream. Thank you, Rose, for reminding. Share the live stream, please, so that people can join us. I would love the today's live stream to be quite interactive. Whether you think that, oh, I've not got a lot of experience in marriage or whatever, you don't have to. Provided you are married, your your daughter-in, you're a daughter-in-law here. Provided if you are not yet married, you are hoping that one day you get married. I don't think Blessed at Countryside is a young girl. I don't think she's yet married, and Musisi obviously is not yet married, but the rest of you here are married with children. So you will be able to, you would have had the experience of what this lady shared with me, which, as I said, she will be listening in the background, or she will replay the live stream. So I've already given her what I told her, what I think based on my own little experience. And but if any other person can say, come up and say something, I will appreciate that so much. Even if you don't want to come up and you can share on the comment section, that would be good. But coming up sometimes makes it more interactive and better. Okay. So, Father, we thank you for this month of August once again, and for all the people that are here present and those who are going to join us later. Everybody is covered in this prayer. All we're going to discuss today, Father, put in our mouths what we're going to say, that at the end of this live stream, everybody will go out and say, yes, this is what I got today from this live stream. Let it not just be that we come here to just play and go, but today we pray that we're going to get something out of this live stream. Be with everyone who will be joining us later on. Be with others who are going to replay the live stream, that you be with them, and be with all the people who are celebrating their birthdays this month of August. There's quite a few people I've seen on YouTube who say that is their birthday. Thank you for them. As they add extra year to their years, continue to be with them and be with everyone. And others who are yet to celebrate this month of August, because we are only into the 6th day, I pray that you be with everyone. And as I say, this prayer covers everyone that will join us after the prayer and up to the end of the live stream, and those who are going to replay. Be with every family member. Today we're going to be talking about an issue this woman was having with her daughter-in-law, and there are some loopholes here and there, which when I share the story, you can get, understand where I'm coming from, and then we can say what we think based on, us being mother-in-law or being daughter-in-law or just being an adult, so it will be very helpful. Thank you, Lord, for everything. And today we hand over ourselves to you and pray that everything, oh God, that we're going to do today will be as unto the Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Okay. Let's sing them. this song before we proceed. Where is that song? I have not played the Anna Abai official song for a while, so let us play that song and then we can proceed. At least we are sure it's a copy or non-copyright, so we can easily freely play it. Put your hands together. Welcome in, Sister Anna Abai. Let's go. You are the air that I breathe, the song that I sing. You are everything. Without you, I'm incomplete. You are the pillar of my life, the lover of my soul. You are everything. Without you, I'm incomplete. Welcome, Estelle family, my Niger daughter. You're welcome. Done so much for me. Upon all the things you have done, you don't stop, you still they do them for me. You are a loving Father. Thank you all for joining. The things you have done, you don't stop, you still they do them for me. You are a loving Father. Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself strong. Show yourself. Show yourself. For those of you who are new here, this is from Anna Abai Official, one of us, one of the YouTubers. So you can freely use the song if you want. That I breathe, that I sing, everything. Without you, I'm incomplete. We're incomplete without him. Lover of my soul, everything. Without you, I'm incomplete. That I sing, everything. Without you, I'm incomplete. He's the pillar of our life. Everything. Without you, I'm incomplete. Upon all the things you have done, you still they do them for me. Loving Father. You've done so much for me. Upon all the things you have done, you still they do them for me. You are a loving Father. Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself strong. Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself strong. Self strong. Show yourself. Show yourself strong. Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself strong. We'll stop it there. Let me put there. That's why I didn't want to dance today, because even though the weather is a bit gloomy, as the British people will say, the weather is gloomy, but it's quite warm, quite hot. Thank you all for lovely music. Yes, Peaceful Family, thank you all for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right, let's sing a few more songs before we go into what I've got to say today. Ihe niile banyere anyị na-emetụ Chukwu n'obi, echiche udo, ọganiru ka ọ na-echere anyị, ọ gaghị ekwe ka echiche ndị iro mezue. Amara Chineke ọ bara ụba n'ebe anyị nọ. Again, Peaceful. Blessed are the countryside, not peaceful. Peaceful, you can hear Igbo. Peaceful, are you an Igbo lady? I haven't heard you. You know, you speak this your posh English all the time. I've never heard you speak Igbo. I know that Rose is Igbo because she speaks Igbo to her children. And I love the way she does. I'm like, oh, these children, they're multilinguists. They're learning all sorts of language. Yes, I'm very well. Okay, yes, okay. So, ihe niile banyere m na-emetụ Chukwu n'obi. Echiche udo, ọganiru ka ọ na-echere m. Ọ gaghị ekwe ka echiche ndị iro mezue. Amara Chineke ọ bara ụba n'ebe anyị, bara ụba n'ebe anyị nọ. So all I'm saying, oh, Estelle is here as well. Estelle, you have to be versatile though. You have to understand some Igbo as well. After all, you know who the Zuzu. My daughter say who the Zuzu. Now Zuzu not Igbo. When she says that, it makes me laugh so days. She said so much. She'll be like, who the Zuzu? So you have to learn it by force. So all he said, never fail me. Yes, our Father never fails us. All he's saying, the song again, I'll just each time I sing it, I will say that everything that concerns us touches God's heart, and that is only the good things that he plans, he's thinking for us or is planning for us. And he will not allow the plans of the enemy to succeed in our lives, and that his blessing or his provision is just so much for us. That's basically what the song is saying. One day I'm going to learn a Ghana song. I know one, but I can't remember properly. I'm going to learn it properly. But today, I just remembered another Yoruba song that we used to sing then. Let me see if I can remember that. Kábíyèsí o, Hosanna o, ẹ̀yin Jésù Kristi, àìkú, ọba àìkú. Kábíyèsí o, Hosanna o, ẹ̀yin Jésù Kristi, ọba àìkú. And then he says, ẹ̀yin Jésù o, ẹ̀yin Jésù Kristi, ọba àìkú. I remember my friend told me that it means that we worship you. When we say Kábíyèsí o, Hosanna o, it means we worship. And we worship you, Kábíyèsí and Hosanna. And then when you say ẹ̀yin Jésù Kristi, ọba àìkú, meaning all praises to Jesus, Jésù Kristi, Jesus. I hope I'm right. Egba ega. Okay. I hope I'm right in the interpretation. Ẹ̀yin Jésù Kristi, ọba àìkú means all praise to Jesus. Yes, to King. Okay, King. Okay. Ẹ̀yin Jésù o, ẹ̀yin Jésù Kristi, ọba àìkú. When you sing song in your own language, it has so much meaning. Everlasting. Yes, okay. Yes, so that's another Yoruba song that I used to, my friend used to sing, and I love that so much as well. Ị bụ Chukwu onye dị mma, ị bụ Chukwu onye dị ike, ị bụ Alfa na Omega m. Ị bụ Chukwu onye dị mma, ị bụ Chukwu onye dị ike, ị bụ Alfa na Omega m. Onye mbụ na onye ikpeazụ, mmalite n'ọgwụgwụ, ya ka m ji na-asị ịbụ chi m. Ịdị ebube, ịdị omimi, ịbụ Alfa na Omega m. Mmalite n'ọgwụgwụ, Yakanji Nancy Ibuchimo. Oh, Ije Bube, Ijo Mimi, Ibu Alpha na Omega Mo. Again, it's just praising God. You are a powerful God. You are a wonderful God. You are a good God. You are the Alpha and the Omega. You are the beginning and the end. That's exactly what the song is saying, that He is the beginning and the end. He is deep. He is deep. God's word with Mavelina George. Thank you, Mel. Mel confuses us with her names. Each time I'll write them down, and when I don't see any notification, I can't even remember the names again. So this is Mel in the building. God's word with Mavelina George. You're very welcome to the house. Thank you so much for coming. Mel, please, if you have time, I would love you to come up to say something about what we're going to discuss today. And any other person in the house, please, you are all young mothers. You are all daughter-in-laws to somebody. Even if your own mother-in-laws are no longer alive or they are not even with you where you live, at least you have had the experience of mother-in-law. I would like people to help me to advise this lady. And why I actually agreed to talk about this is because I know the lady very well and I know the type of person. Nice voice, man. Peaceful, thank you. This my croaky voice. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I know this lady and I know the type of, sometimes we think that we know people because we just see people on social media, on this YouTube, and you think that you've known people well because they bring themselves out anyway to social media, but they only bring out what they want you to hear. And then based on that, we jump into sometimes into conclusion and start being one-sided and start, disliking them. I would encourage people not to do that. I know, like God's word with Magdalena George is a reactor, but her own reaction is so different. And so people can go in to talk about obviously what they see. And I don't blame them because it's what they see, what people bring out to social media that they talk about. But what I'm trying to say is that people are bringing out even, I think, 1/10 of who they are, not everything that we see on social media that we'll jump into or conclude because they don't bring everything out. But the way, obviously, you go about your reaction, and also my daughter is here, another reactor, and go on what you see and make your own, just say what you think about that issue, which is wonderful. But this lady, as I say, if she is not somebody I've known over the years, even before her, she became a grandmother as well, I would say, you know what? I've only heard one side of the story. But even at that, I've only heard one side of the story, and I gave her a balanced advice. When I give people advice about, I just give the type of advice I will give to myself. I don't go there and become emotional, because when you become emotional in giving people advice or when you're listening to people, the way they will make it feel, you sort of try to, be so sympathetic towards them, and you can start falling in their own direction without hearing from the other person. Yeah, she told me this now about her daughter-in-law, and because it's not something that is very uncommon, it's something that I've heard before, or either be it in being acted or real. So that's why I want us to talk about it. I'm just using what she told me as point of contact, sort of thing, and we're going to discuss this because it's very important that in our homes that we have peace. I don't know about you, but I can trade peace for anything. I just want to have peace of mind. That's why I find it difficult to bear grudges. If you have issue with me, unless I don't know, I'll come to you. I'll make effort anyway to try and sort it out, unless I don't know. Because if you don't, what you don't know, and somebody did not bring to your notice, how do you know when to apologize or when to make amends? And some people are like that. They will not tell you in your face what you've done to them. They will go and tell somebody else, and then you hear it through somebody else. That one annoys me so much, because no matter what, even if the person is older, you come to the person and say, oh, ma or sir, whatever, with all due respect, I hope you don't mind. I need to tell you this. And then you start and tell the person how you feel about whatever it is. And then hear the person out. I'm sure that if the person is wise, no matter what it is, that person that came to you and say, I'm not happy about this. This is what you did to me. This is how you spoke to me the other day. I'm not happy about that. And so on. If you're wise, you're not going to start justifying yourself. You're not going to start telling the person off. How dare you? If it's our own time, children don't come and tell their. You're talking about your own time. We are now talking about this time, your own time. All well and good. We grew up in that old time. We know how we dealt with things. Now we are in different times. So people have to understand and stop telling people if it was in my own time. Yes, sometimes it's good to refer, obviously, to our own time. Even me that raised my own children in this UK in the 80s and 90s, sometimes I see some of them talking about their own time. And so you can imagine how things have progressed. They'll say, if it was when we were raised up, it wouldn't have done that, it wouldn't have said that. Yeah, they were only raised up in the 80s and 90s. So what I'm trying to say is that when it's still okay to talk about your own time, but at the same time, we have to be screwed on. We have to always remember that our time, there were so many good things. Give me back the 80s, the 90s, the year 2000 up to 2000 and something, when mine were quite young and teenagers. Give me those times back, because things have progressed since then. A lot of things have progressed. And I think one of the big things that have caused a lot of problem is social media. When I was raising them up, they didn't have any phone. I didn't have any mobile phone. Never mind themselves having. There was nothing like mobile phone, and there was nothing like all these tablets and laptop and all the rest of it that we give to children now. But we can't go back to that time. Things have moved on, and it has moved on. We have to go according to the time. However, we must not lose our focus. Yes, thank you. That's what, yeah. We must not lose our focus and say, oh, because we are now in 2023. Why are you referring back to the 90s when you raised your own? No. We have to refer to those times, because there are things that were so good and helped the children. But now there are things that are not going so well. My last video, I talked about not allowing children to be children. You see some of them with eyelashes at 5 years old. What's that all about? And then when they get to certain age, especially in the diaspora, and they just get off the hook completely, you see them crying, you see them complaining. And I'm like, you should have done the work earlier. And if you tell them at that time, they'll tell, oh, like the example I gave, that lady said, oh, my child, she will never, if I buy so and so for her, she will not want to wear it. This girl is only 10. So what are you trying to portray? What, are you not ashamed of yourself to be talking about your 10-year-old in that way? That if you gave her this, she will not agree to wear, and then she will want to wear whichever. Who is going to provide the money to buy that nonsense that she wants to wear? We have to some extent, get the grip of these children when they're young. Get them young. Don't say that they're babies. Oh, once they are out of your womb, they are an individual. I'm telling you, once they are, it's only when you are carrying them inside there. But once they are out, you are breastfeeding them, they are watching you, they're doing this, they are watching you, and everything you and their dad do at home, they are watching. And any word you say, they are picking. So you have to be very careful what you say around them, and not even around them. You have to be careful what you say anyhow, because you don't know where they are listening. You think that they're in their room, but they may be listening, and they hear some of the things you say, they hear some of the lies you tell, and then you come and tell them not to tell lies. And the ones born in here in the diaspora are very vocal. They'll say to you, Mommy, don't tell me that. After all, I overheard you telling Stephanie's mom the other day that you did this and you did that, and it wasn't true. They will tell you. Oh, Yemzi. Okay, Yemzi, thank you so much for coming. Yemzi's Varieties. So as I say, most of you here are young parents, and I'm sure you are daughter-in-laws. I used to be a daughter-in-law myself. Now I'm a mother-in-law. So I'm balanced in both this discussion, both ways. I've been a daughter-in-law in the past. Now I'm a mother-in-law, and this thing have come to me, and it says that the daughter-in-law always tells her husband, which is the lady's son, various things against her. And then when her husband tries to protect a little bit her mom, the girl will now use emotional blackmail and say, but God said that you will leave your mother and your father and be with me, and two of us will become one, and that what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Now, this is pure emotional blackmail when it's used in this kind of way, because yes, you leave your mother and your father, and I'm now talking as somebody who has sons. Yeah. So the Bible says that yes, but that's your son, that's your husband that you're married to, was actually somebody's child, was actually born by somebody. So you have to balance things up. That is why we need to be very careful. Okay. Our children are really watching us. That is, yes, our children are always watching. I'm telling you, they are. In fact, as I say, when I was raising my up, there's not all these gadgets and all these things, and that we use these days to keep them quiet. People will just use them. I see some of them. They give them these gadgets to keep them quiet so that they can get on with what they're doing. Those children will be doing those things. You think you have engaged them now. They are with their tablet or whatever you call them, and you think that you can now go to the other room or in the living room and be talking and be doing things. They are listening. Later on, when they start repeating what you said, you'll be like, oh my God, where did you get that from? And they'll tell you, I heard you, mom. I heard you when you were saying that. So they are very clever. Looking at my own children and some of the children now, I'm like, wow, what happened? They are more into things now than mine did when they were raised up. And as I said, they weren't raised up in the 60s and 70s like me. I'm talking about being raised up in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. But things have moved on. So let us be very, very careful, because these children you're looking at, and whatever you do as a daughter-in-law, those children, if you have a daughter, they're going to be daughter-in-law one day. If you have a son, they're going to be married one day and have a wife. So everything needs to be balanced. BMC, you're welcome to the house. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I welcome you to the house. Sometime my child will ask me something. I'll say, no, it's not she. Tell me, mommy, why are you lying? You tell me lying is bad. Why you lie? That's the thing. They will tell you. You can imagine when we were growing up. Not even, okay, when I was growing up, let's say mine is even longer, but you, Estelle, when you are growing up, can you say that to your mom? I mean, you are only a young lady, but can you even say that to your own mom? You see what I mean? So they say they are more vocal now, and don't shut them up and don't tell them, wow, no, because what they're saying is the truth. Lead by example. Lead by example. You're all very, very welcome. Please, share the video and also give it a thumb up, because we want as many people. If people are not going to be here today, they can rewatch it. That's why it's not going to be more than 1.5 hours. By 5:30 UK time, we are done. Kids, yes, so peaceful. I'm telling you. Oh my goodness. So we must avoid emotional blackmail. So going back to the story I was saying about this daughter-in-law. Oh, my Spice is here. Thank you so much for coming. I'm sure you have one or two things to say here, because you're a daughter-in-law. You have one or two things to say here. I want this to be interactive. I want to give the gist first, and I'll drop the link. So, as I said, this daughter-in-law was very disrespectful, always disrespectful to her husband's mother-in-law. And this woman, the mother-in-law, as I say, why I chose to talk about this is because I know this woman very well. You know, when you know somebody, and you know the type of person they are to some extent, there are things that will be said about her and you know where the problem is. And because I've been in their midst before, you know, you don't need to be a counselor or psychologist to pick out things when you're with somebody. I'm like that. Sometimes I don't say much, but I observe. And my observation most of the time does not fail me. So I'm bringing this because I feel for this woman, and I just want us to take precaution, because this kind of attitude can break families, can break relationship, and that husband and wife thinking that they are living peacefully, they are so happy, she's out of the way. She's out of the way. That your husband will not be in existence without that mother. I know there are some mother-in-laws like that are like Patience Ozopo. I'm not talking about those kinds of mother-in-law today. I'm talking about mother-in-law that are really want to bring everybody together, who vowed that before their children even get married, just like myself, because I have sons, and I said it even before they started getting married, that any daughter-in-law, that any woman that my sons decide to marry, and it's their decision. I know I've said one or two things before when they were quite young. Oh, I don't want to say it on air. What I said to them, I said, you know, I know you are all born and bred here. I don't want you to, but I don't want to mention it here so that people will not think that I am R. I'm not. But you know, it's just the way we reason as mothers or parents sometimes. But now that they've got to that stage when they are now starting to make their own decisions regarding who they marry, myself and Hobby, we look at ourselves and we say, years ago, we know what we said, that you can't do this and that. No, because at the end of the day, we're not going to live our lives for them. We're not going to live with them. They are now independent. They're making their own decisions. All we have to do is give them advice. For those who will listen to your advice, some of them don't listen to advice. They think they know it all until they make mistakes. Oh, yes. They think they know it all until they make mistakes, and then they'll come running to you. Sometimes it's too late, or sometimes it can still be retrieved. You can now advise them if they will listen. Okay. I need to explain to her. Okay, I see what they're talking about, what your daughter said. Yeah. Okay. And Spicy talk, the one there, pay attention. You're looking for Spicy's trouble now. Yeah, so this lady is always on, and then she uses all this. God said, "You live and you cleave." What I always say to daughter-in-laws is this: you don't know. At the end of the day, God have blessed you with children or child, or even if it's all girls that you have, they're going to be mother-in-law. Even if it's all boys that you have, they're going to be mother-in-law. So either way, as in-laws, you see, AA has put word in my mouth. I don't want to go there. You have put words in my mouth. But anyway, that's a different story now, because they're making their own decisions. And I'm telling you, what we are doing now is we are being on our knees, praying, God, take over. Take over. At the end of the day, we don't know how many more years we have on earth. They have got their own lives to live. So we cannot start making such decisions or start binding and losing, because I don't want them. Yes, that's keep praying. Keep praying. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Keep praying. As a mom of children who are coming up to that adult age, I don't want them. Yeah, just keep praying. That's all I can say, because I know how I was before and everything. Yeah. So, and then so the mother-in-law tried to, and her husband is sort of a bit confused, didn't know whether to go by what the wife is saying or what is now in between. And I say that kind of son is not balanced. That kind of son has not got that, it's not ready, wasn't ready for marriage in the first place. Because if you are ready for marriage in the first place, these things are things you would have discussed with your daughter, if you had courted or whatever, or even if you didn't court, when you got married initially, where you place your mom, where you place your parents will actually determine how your a wife treats your mom, especially a mom that wants to welcome everyone and does not have any issue with her, but it's just her trying to pick, trying to be jealous. Why are you jealous of? You are the wife in the house, and the mother is the mother. You are the wife. There's no need to be jealous. I see peaceful family. She's married to a foreign person. I see how she relates with her mother-in-law and her great mother-in-law. When I see her videos and see how things go on there, and see how that her great mother-in-law was dances, now she's not very well, and so she's not dancing the way she used to. Dancing, meaning that she's so happy to have her as her, granddaughter-in-law. What else do you want? And she is so happy herself with her two sons and her husband. So when it comes to things like this, all I say to people is, let us talk about peace. Oh, I think who came in? Blessing Asimota. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. We're talking about daughter-in-law because there's something that came up. We're talking about daughter-in-law. I know you have children, so obviously you have mother-in-law. When I see some mother-in-laws and the relationships that they have with their daughter-in-laws and stuff like that, I'm like, yes, that's how it should be. Your daughter-in-law should be your daughter. For those of us who don't have daughters, I take them as my own, those daughters that I did not have. That's how it should be. But sometimes you do your best, like this woman is doing, but this girl is just wants her husband away from the mother. She will go and be telling her husband all sorts of things about her mother, and were not true. And the husband, not being very mature, still a boy, although he's now married with with two children, actually, being still being a boy, he just goes and confronts the mom, and then the mom and the daughter-in-law are having issues, and this husband will go and tell his own mother, actually, the reason why she's not stop talking to you is because because it's your fault, because of the way you talk to her, because when she dresses up, you always have something to do with her dressing, because yes, this daughter-in-law loves very short dresses and she likes to leave her cleavages open and stuff like that. And the mother, obviously, being a mother of our generation, when I see things like that, sometimes, I don't like it. But you just have to find a way to talk to them about it. You can even make a joke out of it and see they will get it. But again, you just have to be balanced, because at the end of the day, if your son loves her like that, being half naked and all the rest of it, you don't live with them. Do whatever you've come to do, or when you meet them, and then leave them to it. But you can only advise, you can find a way, use wisdom to know how to say that. My mother-in-law is very amazing. My wife is very amazing. They get along. You see, that's it, BMC. I love to hear things like that. That's how it should be. Once you have your mother-in-law and your wife gets on very well, in fact, most of your problems are solved, because you're not going to be there walking on eggshell. I don't know what to say now. My wife will say I'm doing this to my wife. You can't live like that. You need to get on, and getting on does not take much. Getting on means you just know your place in that relationship. You know your place as a daughter-in-law. You know your place as a mother-in-law, and things will balance up. Don't poke nose into their affairs all the time. And this idea of my son's house, I hope this generation have stopped using that nonsense. My son's house. Thank God it's your son's house. Go back to your own house. So when it comes to that nonsense, mother-in-laws must stop saying that. You can't tell me when to go. This is my son's house. That means that mother-in-law does not actually know what marriage is all about. It's not your son's house. It's your son's family. They are now family. So you have to make sure that you respect that and know that they are now family. But at the same time, as in this occasion, is other way around, when this daughter-in-law is the one that is taking the son's face, it's my son's house. Yes, so blessing. You hear this in those days, and I heard that people are keep saying these things in this generation. Some men are still attached to their mom's opinion, and that causes problems for some. Yes, you're very correct. Oh, Sister Winnie, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, so men. That's why I'm saying that those men are not actually men, they are boys, and boys don't get married. If and I say again, I'm saying this as a mom of boys. If you are not ready, that's why we have there was a live stream I was on yesterday. We are talking about age. Yes, age when girls or men should get married. And I said to them, the age is not cast in stone, because there are some people who will be in their early 20s and they are more mature. Maturity is not by age, and they're more mature than some girls who are in their early 30s. And if that one in their mid 20s or so are ready for marriage, they can go ahead. Somebody may be in their early 30s, a lady. I know people say biological clock. Yes, biological clock. And this biological clock is pushing ladies or some people in who they should not marry, and they live with regret for the rest of their lives. And those of them who are brave enough will just leave, and those of them who are not brave enough, or who have that mindset of, I was raised up to know that you do not separate from your husband, will live there and be going through torment, and one day they will end up like Osinachi. No, we don't want that. Marriage should be enjoyed, and it should start from the man of the house. I love what BMC said about how his wife and the mother. So he doesn't have to be in the middle of, hey, I'm coming back from work today, what am I going to face? When the wife will be on the door standing, is it that your mother again? Or is that what is even the mother doing in the house? What is she doing there? Is she living with them, or is she visiting? Because for me, I'll visit my sons and their wives, but I'm not going to live with them. No. I have my own home and my husband. We have done our own work, raising them up. They're not getting married, having their own homes and stuff like that. When necessary, obviously we'll visit. When necessary, we'll do things that they want us to help them out with. But when it comes to being there all the time and rubbing it on the woman's face that this is my son's house, I don't understand it. It's not your son's house, it's their house, because the husband and the wife are one. So that's where some women get it wrong. But why I'm talking about this is that this particular woman is not that kind of woman. She knows her boundaries. But this girl, I don't know whether it's her upbringing, I don't know whether it's what she's hearing from friends. Some friends are not good friends. Sometimes then they see that you're living happily with your own husband, they'll come and be telling you nonsense. Oh, hey, now wow, if it's me, I won't tolerate this. Go home and see what they tolerate. But they were telling you this just to make you think that you're not doing okay. Please, you young ladies here, stop listening to some of these so-called friends. Some of them don't mean well for you. Some of them don't mean well for you at all. When they see that things are going well for you and things are not going well for them, they will come and start telling you what they would have done if they're in that situation. They have actually been in worse situations than what they're saying, and they have not done anything. So please, friendship. We talked about friendship in one live stream recently as well. Mind who your friends are, and mind what you share with them. Anything to do with your husband and yourself, keep it wrapped up. You don't have to share with friends, because they will come with their own opinions, and some of those opinions are not correct. Linda, you're welcome. Linda Nene. See, all the young moms are in the house. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. All the young moms are in the house. So I want this to be interactive. So this is just in a nutshell what is going on in this family. This one is doing her best and everything. And I've told her that from what she told me, the main problem there is her son. I said that your son is not behaving like a man. That's why there's problem. If not, there should not be competition between me, like I am now, my son and my daughter-in-law. I'm now starting for what now? We have this level for everything, and it depends on how you portray yourself as well. If you're that kind of parent, let me even say that before I forget. If you're those kind of parents, and I'm not talking about husband and wife now, and you have children, and you want to rely on your children for your own upkeep, please think again. When you are raising up your children, make sure that you keep enough money for your older age. Make sure that you are okay financially. Some of this problem is when the mother of the man is so dependent on his son, so that any nonsense she will take, anything she will start crying, because you know that the son may stop giving her money. So please be financially dependent as parents. Just like myself and my husband, now our children are gone. By the grace of God, if they decide to give us anything tomorrow, it is just gift. It's like, I want to bless our parents, not that we are demanding it or that we'll be disappointed if they don't. By the grace of God. And that's what I want everybody here. Please, if you are all parents here, get yourself, because eventually these children you're seeing, I see you all with your lovely young children, they are all going to grow and go, and they grow so quick. Look at Niger daughter's children, the boy and the girl. You know, I see them going to school and everything. Before you know it, they're at uni. Once they enter uni, that's it. It will not become two of you. Make sure you have enough. Be comfortable. When you're comfortable, some of this nonsense will not be happening. Some of this nonsense will not be happening if you're comfortable. Try as much as possible. When you're raising up your children, be putting some money away for your old age. Gone are those days when parents have 6 children, 7 children, and they concentrate on the first 2, hoping that the first 2 will now help them to raise the younger ones. Gone are the days. Plan for your old age. I'm telling you now, from experience, I'm telling you, plan for your old age. No matter how they love you, no matter how they care for you, especially those of us who are raising our children here in the diaspora. But when I said that, somebody in Nigeria said to me, you're talking about diaspora. It's even worse in Nigeria now. Children are so materialistic. They are so selfish. They just want to know about themselves. They don't care. And then here in the diaspora, where I live in the UK, the best they will do for you is to put you in a nursing home, and then they put you in a nursing home. Nursing home is here, you pay. Sometimes what they ask them to pay, your children may not even have that money to pay. It still have to be from your own money that you saved, that you used to be paying for yourself in that nursing home. So please, look after yourselves. If you are married and you're with your husband, look after each other. Look after each other so that you don't become so unwell and so dependent on these children. Because if you are married to one of these daughter-in-laws who is always rubbing it on her husband's face, that the Bible says you have to live and cleave. You have to live and cleave. You know more. So forget about your roots. Forget about the parents that raised that person up before they married you. That is an error. It's a big error. I've dropped the link. I would like some people to come up here. I think I saw a Fun with Lexi. Fun with Lexi is Oyoyo's world. Oyoyo Ndoki Kitchen, Oyoyo's world. Fun with Lexi. You're welcome to the house. Lucy Choma, thank you for coming. I think you came when I was talking. Did I miss anybody else? I think I saw. Okay, I've already welcomed you, Yemsis and Linda. I have. Yeah. Please remember to thumb up this video. Remember to share it, because other people will watch it later on. We have now spent an hour. We have 30 more minutes to go, and I've dropped the link. I would like people to come up and just share something. Oyoyo is a mother, is a daughter-in-law. Obviously, I don't know whether her own mother-in-law is still alive. Oyoyo have got daughters, so by the grace of God, when the children are grown and married, she will be a mother-in-law from the other side of it. And those of you who also have sons like I do, you're going to be mother-in-law from the other side of it. Now, we have to balance it. I believe in balancing, because at the end of the day, that girl, she's from another family, she's got her own parents, and she coming into your home to answer your surname, your son's surname, which is your surname, you should treat her as your own daughter, period. But when a mother-in-law is doing all that she can, and this daughter-in-law is still disrespecting her and using her husband as playing with the emotions or the mind of the husband, and because the husband is still a boy, he's not able to manage this properly, and that is causing a huge problem in this family at the moment. Because and I've said to the lady, I said, look, when you visit them, please, you don't have to be there longer than necessary. When you visit and go, because too much of everything is too bad. When that's the Igbo saying, "Ahu shiogo," or something like that. When you're always in their faces and all the time, I'm not that kind of mother-in-law. I'm not. I have my self-respect. If you need me at any time and if it's suitable for me, I'll be there for you. But I'm not that kind that will be there on your faces all the time and then condemn this, condemn that, do that, and do that. No, it's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for my son and the family. So it's better for us to know our boundaries. Knowing our boundaries is very important. And as I say, I'm saying this as somebody who thank you so much, Mel, for coming. So please, I would like this to be interactive. We are all, even though you are all young people here, you must have had experiences. In fact, Peaceful Family don't even have to tell me anything because I've seen it. I've seen it for myself. Some of you have seen. So Peaceful Family, I've used her as an example. She doesn't have to come up here to say anything because her own speaks for itself. And but some of you who are in diaspora, your mother-in-laws or your it's not with you, but you must have had experiences with them before you traveled out. And those of you who are in Nigeria or in abroad and who are not with your mother-in-laws, I'm sure maybe you have related with them before you left, or some of them are remote controlling from where they are, finding out what you did today, finding out why her son did not eat the apple that he normally eats and that you gave him spaghetti instead. Some of them are still doing that and causing problem. We don't need that. There's enough problem for husband and wife to understand themselves to raise these children. Raising children is a big deal. They have enough to cope with without your nonsense. But at the same time, daughter-in-law, you must take your mother-in-law as your own mother, provided she takes you the same way, and there shouldn't be fight. People will be wondering, you say, yes, it's my mother. And just like when I was married newly, and my mother-in-law, we go to the village, and she'll be introducing me to all sorts of people because I look like her first daughter a little bit, and they're not sure who I am, and she said, and they'll be asking her. She said, yes, my daughter, and we'll be going sharp, and that's how we related, because she took me as one, and I took her as mine as well, and we related that way without any problem, without me having to come and tell my husband, oh, mama did this today, mama did that today. For what now? Because I took her as my own mother. If it's my own mother that made some mistakes, will I keep talking about it? So why will mother-in-laws be different from your own mother, especially when they have received you as their own daughter? Why? Mel, thank you. She's come with a different name. Before, we are trying to get used to God's word with Mevelina.
Yes,
We are trying to get used to God's
okay?
word with Mevelina. She's come up with and okay, Entertainment Daily. Entertainment Daily, okay, yes. They are all the same person, my lovely people. Entertainment Daily, Mel Fierce Fitness, God's Word with Mevelina George, they're all the same person. Thank you so much, Mel. Please, I would like others to also come up. I will drop the link again. Thank you, Mel.
Thank you so much for having me, Mama. Interesting topic to have. Interesting. Because marriage is something that every day we learn and every day we hear new stories, even if it's not happening in your own marriage, you hear something that someone else has to say and all of that. But in terms of
Yes.
mother-in-laws, I do agree with you that some of them are just doing too much. But I feel like even with those ones that are doing too much, when you're going into marriage, one thing you have to know is that you're getting involved with someone that they have different orientation, upbringing, and everything from you. So just keep that
Yes.
open mind that you might see some things that might not be something that will happen in your own family. It's not something that you've seen happen in at least your immediate or close friends or whatever while you were growing up. But now you're now married, you're now seeing this with the family of
Mm-hmm.
your husband, and his mom is maybe doing too much and all of that. Like something my mom said to me when I was getting married, she said, if you know you cannot do this thing to me, do not do it to your mother-in-law, no matter what she does.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That particular
Very good
thing. So
advice.
no matter what, I will always remember what she said. And no matter how angry I am, I cannot stand up. I'm not born in this generation that you can stand and tell your mom something. When parents are talking, you cannot even look at them eyeballs to eyeballs because they see it as disrespect in those days.
Yes.
So whatever happens, I still have that in the back of my mind that okay, it is what it is. So I will always like, okay, That's justice. But then,
Yes.
if you see this person as your own mom, I feel like there's a way you even relate to your mother-in-law. She sees you as your own, as her own daughter.
Exactly. Honestly.
So
Yeah.
she will totally understand you. For me, it gets to the point where my husband would tell me there's certain things that he would do, and I was like, "What are you?" He said, "Please stop being like my mom." You hear stuff like that. I say, "Oh, now I'm being like your mom." So that he really knows. And when if she just sees me, my face is not straight, she will ask me, "What happened? Did he do something?" And all of that. Before you know, she wants to start crying. I said, "Nothing happened. It's just okay." Or maybe my son on top of that. It has nothing to do with your child. But she's always there saying, "You're like my daughter. You're my daughter." Stuff like that. So I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes the way you interact with them also, they get to that point where they now start feeling comfortable and relaxed to now
Yes.
allow you to just do your thing and trusting you and seeing you as their own child and knowing fully well that you're not going to do anything bad. Because some of them, at the end of the day, they're being overprotective and they don't know that they're being overprotective.
Yes. So
But it
yeah.
takes time for you to prove yourself. So sometimes a lot of patience is also needed, where you have to be patient with the woman because she raised this child over the years and all of that. So she's used to everything that you used to do for him. So sometimes you just look at it that way. Over time, it gets better. That's just it. But if it's not getting better, that's when you have to sit down and just have that conversation. Not being
Yes.
rude, mannerless. If you know you're not going to yell at your own mom, you don't have to yell at her. The same way you're going
Yes.
to talk to your mom, if your mom makes you angry, the same way you sit down and explain to her, say, "Mama or mommy, look, this,
Absolutely.
this." And see if it's
Yeah.
something she will apologize, if she's the type to. If she doesn't, leave it at that. Maybe your husband will
Yes.
explain to you, "Oh, my mom never tells us sorry. Or my mom is never like." He would make you understand what you need to know, and at least like, "Oh, okay, she's maybe not even doing the same for her kids. Why should I expect same thing?" And you just cut her a little bit of slack, and at a point she gets tired of misbehaving or acting certain way, and she's going to just allow you to live your life and do whatever you want to do. In terms of the food stuff, I know a lot of people complain about this thing where you get like the mother in law was like, "Ali, he eats it, he likes it like this, he likes it like that." I feel like when you see stuff like that, sometimes just take your head and just allow them to roll with that. It gets tiring. There's a way you do certain things, you get tired and you will leave it alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's also in the place of the husband to tell the mom, not really in your place, to say, "Okay, mom, back off a bit, let my wife handle things." Because then she's hearing it from her own child and she's not going to feel like it has anything to do with you.
Yes.
But patience, I feel, is number one key to marriage because if you do not have that patience, you won't be able to tolerate everything, even from your own husband. You won't be able to tolerate, let alone his own mom and his relatives and all of that. So patience is just key. It's
Yes.
always, there will be something. Even our siblings, we don't always like the same things. We don't like the
Exactly.
same food. We don't dress the same. We don't talk exactly the same, even though we're the same blood. So how much
Yes.
more a new family you're just getting into? You have to just give it time, work with what you have, and just keep praying that God helps you and gives you wisdom to always tackle issues the right way. You understand?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. You've made a valid points there, Mel. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. So it has to be balanced. It's two ways. And this particular incident here that we're discussing today, from another thing that came up is that this girl, the way she treats her own mom, she's always talking about what they will do for her. That's being selfish. If maybe she was one of those ones I heard that always pray before they get married that their mother-in-law will not be, if the person has a mother, they say, "Oh, I'm not going to marry," forgetting that themselves will one day become a mother-in-law, and then somebody else will pray that kind of prayer for them. Lucy Choma said here that unfortunately she did not meet her mother-in-law. You see, she's saying unfortunately. She did not say, "Oh, luckily I did not meet her." No, because she said unfortunately I did not meet my mother-in-law, because it's something that everybody will wish to have, you know. But some people obviously take it the other way around, and they think it's that there are problems. And but as I say, it takes two always. People have to balance things up, and if you're a sorry, I'm being distracted a little bit. And good for the husband to also put limit. Yes, yes, obviously it's good to put a limit. Put a limit. Just balance things up. The husband have to. Sometimes some men find it very difficult because of the type of relationship they have with their mom. They can't say certain things, but it's very, very important for that husband, because at the end of the day, the husband should be the one to take control of the whole situation, because you have to be very, very balanced. Tell your wife her place in the home, and your mom, with all due respect, mom, this is how we want to do it now, or whatever. But don't disrespect her and then come and tell her that your wife said that she's the problem and stuff like that. Even if your wife said that kind of stuff, there's a way. You don't come and tell her that. How do you think that will make her to feel? You know? So we have to make sure that we are ready for marriage and all that is involved. But for in-laws, both sides, mother-in-law, sometimes, believe it or not, there's a problem. That's one I had not long ago, and that one is even the father-in-law that is causing problem. I'm like, which one is this one? You know, so sometimes you don't hear about father-in-laws, but sometimes actually father-in-laws are also problems. But today we are talking about this daughter-in-law and the mother. And I can't overemphasize. I think I saw a comment from Oyoyo saying that saving for old age is a must in today's world. Yes, please, you young mothers, as you are raising your children up, also be thinking about your older age. I'm telling you now, no matter that love they have for you, sometimes you don't even want to bother them as well, because they think they're struggling. Sometimes there are things our own will do for us or buy us. I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have, son, you shouldn't have, because we're just feeling for them. That shows that we don't really need that from them, but it's not like we're dependent. But when you see some of these parents who are so dependent on their son or even their daughters, they insist that their daughter will marry a hair. That's another one. Some mothers will insist that they are, when people are coming to marry their daughters, they are saying no, 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 to that, as if the one getting married is their daughter. But they'll be saying to their daughter, no, you can't go to that man, or he won't be able to look after you. They are thinking about themselves, because they want to depend on that man and milk him, and that is not right. That is not right. Make sure that you save for yourself. Gone are those days when you have children to help to train the other children. Save for yourself. And if they give you any money, if they do anything for you in your older age, it becomes, oh, you're like wonderful, and you'll be grateful. But don't rely on them. If you don't take anything away from today, please take it as a mother who has grown up children as well. And we are now just two of us. I'm telling you, no matter what it is, have your own, be comfortable. That way, some of these insults comes from there, because every time it's, oh, mama phoned, she needs this. Oh, she phoned, she needs that. And sometimes it can be so tiring. It can be too much, because they're raising up children, they're raising up young children. And every time it's mama said this, she wants this. And the next thing, she also bring her own emotional blackmail. Hey, since you married this your wife, oh, you don't do this for me anymore. You remember that other children spend 9 months in the womb. You spent 10 months plus 1 day, and you sucked until this, and all those nonsense starts coming out. There's no need for all that. There's no need for all that. Once you have them, you've had them, and once you bring them up the right way, lead them by example as they're growing up. Show example the way you and their dad or you and their mom lives at home. Let them learn the basics, how to hold be a man in their home. Because once a man is shaking, very, very shaky, he doesn't know who to go to. You don't have to go to either. You have to be in the middle and balanced, and know there's a type of relationship a man has with his wife, and it's the type of relationship you have with your mother. As I say, I'm saying this as a mother of boys. I wouldn't expect this idea of some people are quarreling about who will stay in front of the car when you visit your son. You'll be quarreling with his wife who will stay in front of the car. Who the Zuzu? Nigeria daughter, are you still here? Who the Zuzu? Emel, who the Zuzu? Which one is that one? Who stays where? Hey, have you not entered car before? Do you not have even if you don't have your own car, Even if you don't have your own car, go and hire one and be wherever you want to be. Leave the husband and wife alone. You can visit them, and then the problem you have is who will be in the front of the car, and that will be a big issue. And some of them, sometimes you see the man standing there. I mean, we saw one with a big YouTuber here. I don't like mentioning names of people, but if you know, you know. The one we saw on this YouTube here, very big YouTuber, and then wants the mom to be in front of the car. And the wife was like, but, and then the woman, knowing her place, said, no, my daughter, you go in front. But maybe because of the way the daughter-in-law said, the way the daughter-in-law behaved, she did not go and start giving a mouthful of throwing adult tantrums. She did not do that. So the mother-in-law said, no, you go in front. And then the daughter-in-law, because she understood that the mother-in-law actually knew that she was supposed to be in front, she said, no, mom, you stay in front. It's okay. I'll be at the back. You can even give an excuse. It's okay, mom, be in front. I'll be at the back. I'll even have a more chance at the back and be playing with my phone. Or just make it something that is this thing, and don't make it like, oh, you are so angry about it. But later on, you have to address it with your husband and say, what was that all about? That we went out today and you want your mom to be in front of the car. Why? I don't see, to be quite honest with you, who sits in front or back I don't understand it. For example, if the mother-in-law is much older and she got hip problems, she's got this kind of problem, and getting in the back of the car will be a problem for her. Actually, if you have that good relationship with your mother-in-law, your husband doesn't have to say anything. By the time he even comes out to put the car, you will see his mom in front. He may be, Mama, are you the one in front today? Say, yes, my daughter said I should sit in front because of my hip. Something like that. And that will be it. But if it's not that you are so young and able-bodied, but you just want to be in front of that seat to annoy people, to tell people that this is my son and my son's car. And this idea of my son's car or my son's house has to stop. Because when people are married, it doesn't matter who paid for the car. It doesn't matter who is paying the mortgage. It doesn't matter. It becomes our. There's nothing like my son. And there was a movie I was watching, and this woman kept maltreating the daughter-in-law, thinking that every time she does something, oh, do this. But eventually, her son told her, Mama, most of the money we're spending here is actually from her. I don't have a good job. This thing what we bought for you is what was actually from her because I can't afford it. So she has to explain this because of the way. There wouldn't have been any need for that man to explain that to his mother. He wanted to protect and just be keeping up appearances. But because of the way the woman was speaking to his wife and treating him, he has to tell the mother the truth. But ordinarily, the best thing would have been, as he was doing before, that just doing it together. The woman did not say anything. Nobody knew who is bringing what. Because I believe that when you are married, everything should be done as one. You don't have to say, this is what my husband said I should give you. My husband bought this for you. Maybe if it's a present that your husband bought specially for her, that's different. But when it comes to things in the house, food that you're buying, everything in the house, you just do it as one. Nobody will know who is doing what. But because the mother-in-law wants to throw her weight around as the mother-in-law, the son had to tell him her the truth. And that wouldn't have been necessary if she had behaved herself and just rolled with them, spend the time she needs to spend there and get out and go to her own home. For peace in families, yes. So I think I've missed so many comments. Nobody else wants to come up. All this, I know you're all commenting down here, but I would like to hear, Mel had some valid points there. Sometimes it's good to hear people. So I've dropped the link again. You younger ones, you can also come. You don't have to have so many experiences in marriage or being a daughter-in-law for you to be able to
And Mama,
say
something else I wanted to add concerning the lady you were talking about, that she was always
yes,
doing me, and she sounded very selfish. I feel like
yes,
this selfishness too comes from society. People
yes,
see a lot. Single women, single men see a lot even before they get married. And some people already form the impression that, oh, this nonsense I'm seeing from ABC, I will not tolerate it. If my mother-in-law this, my
Yes.
mother-in-law that. So people are already
Absolutely.
going into marriages with their mind, with this mindset
Yes.
of, I'm ready for the battle. Even you
Yes.
don't know if there's going to be battle, but because of what you've seen from your neighbors, this one screaming, the other one screaming, leave my son's house, is my son's bag of rice, is my son's this, my son's everything. So people are saying, oh, I'm just going to go into
Yes.
this marriage and I'm going to show my mother-in-law Pepe. The mother-in-law that you don't even
Yes.
know yet. Okay, because you've
Yes.
not even seen a husband, let alone talking about mother-in-law. But already your mind is already made up from what you've seen from other people. So I think that's where some people are coming from. And
Yeah.
I feel like if somebody falls in that category, when you get married, try to understand that you've already made an impression about that person, and you have to clear your mind, go in with an open
Yes.
mind. And then if the
Mm.
person starts misbehaving, you know what to do. But don't carry that baggages that you saw in life while growing up. Maybe your
Yes.
own grandmother was treating your mom like that or whatnot. And then you just want to give this other woman, maybe this one that you meet might be a very nice one that might see you like a daughter, but you've already made up your mind that she will not come here and spend more than 1 week. Oh. Hey, if she come here, let her not enter my kitchen. Oh. Let her
Eh.
not cook for my husband. All this
I'm
type of
ready
thing.
for
Because
fight.
you're already
Yes.
afraid of something that is not there.
Ah.
You know.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. I think I missed greeting somebody. Oh, Nsube Tazi blog. Okay, you're Nsube Zubi. Nice to see you here. Oh, I saw that Tazi blog. I'm like, hey, who is this one? Oh, I just remember that I didn't greet the person. Thank you so much for coming, Zubi. You came with a different name. I appreciate you. Nancy Obebo, thank you so much for coming. I think I saw Ngaji as well. Yes, Rose Ngaji. I don't think I've greeted you as well. I'm sorry, anyone, if I have not greeted you, please don't take it personal. Sometimes when I'm talking, I can miss people. When I go back, I will remember, oh my God, I don't think I said hello to this person. You're all very welcome. Thank you so much. So mom-in-laws are not doing it right, and same to the daughter-in-law. Of course, it takes two. It always takes two. As I'm saying, if everybody, daughter-in-law knows her place in the home, and mother-in-law knows her place in the home, there shouldn't be any problem. At the end of the day, take them as your own mom, take them as your own daughter, because if it's your own daughter, will you throw them away? Will you be like this? So when you start seeing people as your own, all this problem will not be arising at all. Everybody, because stay in front of your own husband's car. Exactly, Zumi. No, don't you hear when I say who they Zuzu? Eh? Say, what is all that? Eh? If I go to my son's house now, I'll be going in front of the car for what now? I have my own car and my husband where I can sit in front of the car when we are going now. What do I need to sit in front of it? I think it's a poverty mentality sometimes that is causing this. But some people are telling me that there are even some people who are well to do and they're behaving like this. I don't understand that. I really don't understand this front seat and back
But
seat
really,
has caused
I
problems.
don't see a big deal about this front seat and back seat. If you're
No,
there first, maybe we're coming out of the house and women will do makeup, do this, and older ones, they don't do much makeup. Some of them don't even wear makeup at all. So maybe she gets out there first. If she decides to sit in front, maybe she wants to discuss something with her son, I will just sit at the back. Like, for me, I don't see it as a big deal because I feel like when we buy, we will not be buried with all these material things we have. So if this woman wants to enjoy one day with the son, then I will sit at the back like the madam, waiting for signing for side door. I it's fine.
exactly. But it's a big deal for most people. And as I say, if the mom can say, "Oh, I'm just being in front. I want to chat with my son so he can hear me when he's driving." That's fine. You can just say that. But otherwise, to be quite honest, I have the same opinion. If you can say it in a joking way and say, okay, you stay there with your mom. Then if you really get on with, I think the people that talks about this front seat and back seat are people who are not getting on with their daughter-in-laws, and that's why it becomes a big issue. If you get on with your daughter-in-law and your mother-in-law, that is not those ones don't cause problem. Because even if the mother-in-law sits in front, you'll be like, yeah, mama, now wow, you want to sit in front today now with your son. Ngwanu, let me go to the back and balance safe. So that becomes a joke. Where is problem, Mel, is not in normal circumstances. It's mainly in situations where the mother-in-law wants to show that this car belongs to my son. That's why this attitude of my son, my this, my that comes into it. It's not that it's a big deal, but it causes problem because of the circumstances. Because for those women, they are doing it just because they want to make their daughter-in-law to feel bad. That's why it becomes a big issue.
You have
If
to
not,
blame your husband. If that's the case, you blame your husband
sorry,
because if he sees that his mother is doing like that, he needs to straighten his mother up. So now you are go
exactly,
quarrel, not the thing. I'm not gonna tell her anything. When we enter house, I'm gonna quarrel you from morning till night.
exactly,
Next time when your mama try,
exactly.
when you know say you no go rest for house, you will do the right
Yeah,
thing. I
yeah.
won't say anything to her. But when we enter house, we lock door. Now that time I will start like parrot.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. And honestly, something like this should not be a problem in a normal daughter-in-law, mother-in-law relationship. It should not be a problem. It's not never a problem. It's only when there's already something brewing and they're both ready to fight each other. That's when it becomes a problem. If not, I mean, how many? Some people don't even have the car. They go by public transport all the time. What is that all about? But it's always in a situation where there's already tension, and that becomes an issue, and it shouldn't be. Anna Abai official is in the building. We played your music before earlier on. We played your music to welcome everyone. Women that enter a new home can either build it or break the family. Yes, a lot of them enter and they break the family, unfortunately. A lot of them enter and they build the family, and you see the big difference since they've entered into that home, that things are so different. But unfortunately, some of them enter and there's this strained relationship between the other parents, because they want to obviously be with their wife, because that's the people that they want to that are going to spend the rest of their lives with, and their own parents. There's a very big strained relationship. And then if a man is that kind of man that's always listening, and I'm not saying don't listen to your wife. Remember, I'm a wife before I became a mother-in-law. I'm not saying don't listen to your son, sorry, to your yes, to your sorry, I'm talking about the man now. Don't I'm not saying don't listen to your wife. Not everything that she comes to complain to you about your mom that you're going to internalize and use it against your mom. Why not try and find out? And also try and understand the type of woman you marry. Because if you marry that kind of woman that you know that she finds fault in everything, you will know. And it's not everything that she comes to tell you. And actually, you have to stop her. There's a way you will listen to her first, second, you think, this there's problem brewing here. Put a stop to it. Stop coming to complain about my mom to me. She's my mom. I know we all have our faults. Try and deal with it. Try and have relationship with her. Try and do so. Encourage that your wife. Discourage her from coming all the time to tell you that mama did this, mama did that. How about her own mom? Did she not do something to her when she was growing up? Is it just now that she knew that there's a mother? How about her own mom? Was she complaining like this? Why is she taking your own mom different? Just be balanced. So for a man, you have to be prepared for this marriage. You have to be prepared to deal with this, and don't be a pushover. When your wife knows your weakness, they know that if I go now and tell him that his mother did this, he'll go and tell the mother off. He will even go and tell her to pack out of the house, and then they will be doing this, and you are encouraging it. You're feeding that bad habit, and it's going to boomerang, because you yourself, you're not going to have peace, because that woman will now, sometimes she will start, and one day there'll be big problem because she's telling tales, and some of the things they're telling you is not even the correct thing, but you are acting on them. Oh, Anna, thank you so much. Thank you for that amazing super chat. Thank you, Anna. I've not seen you for a while. Each time I'll go back and check, is Anna here? Has she been on live? But yeah, it's nice to see you here today. Thank you. So mother-in-laws should accept their daughter unconditionally. Yes, that's right. You have to accept each other unconditionally, because everybody has their own fault. Just like your daughter-in-law, you think she has fault, the same as myself as mother-in-law, I have my own fault. We have to just understand each other, and yes, and accept each other unconditionally, and just take that in-law thing away from your head and just relate as parents and daughter. Anna, God bless you. Thank you so much, Anna. I really appreciate it. Depends on relationship. And that is said, It depends on the relationship that man had with his mom before marriage. Very important. You have spot on, Natty, because sometimes if there's no, you didn't have that great relationship with your mom, and you always, it's like, yes, you're even waiting. You may even say to your wife, hey, that's what she is like. Oh, she's always, that's what she is like. And she's carried it now to my home and so on. Yes. So it depends on relationship and how you actually handle and present your mom. Very important. So some people don't have that great relationship, and that can dig into their marriage. And the wife, if the wife notices that, she can capitalize on that and do whatever she wants to do. So that's very great point there, Nati. Thank you for saying that. Let me just see if I've missed any other points. We are going to be rounding off this live stream. Mel, please, is there any last thing you want to say on this topic? I know there's a lot of charts out there that I've missed some of the charts, but there's been a lot of good charts out there, but it's not one size fits all. There's no way, there's no right way or wrong way of being a daughter-in-law or being a mother-in-law, but the one way is to be normal. Have a normal relationship, have a normal, put people in your own situation, your own shoes. If eventually one day, by God's grace, I will be a mother-in-law, am I able to tolerate this? If my own, because once you have a child, unless you are praying to die before your children gets married, if not, one day you'll be in that situation. Always put somebody in that, in your own, in yourself in that situation, and say, if I'm in that situation, how will I handle things? Am I going to be happy with this? Am I going to be like this? Yes. To crown everything all, be respectful on both sides. Respect is reciprocal. Don't go and be telling, I'm the man, your mom here. Meaning what? Meaning that you don't respect the other person. Respect is reciprocal. Now we have to respect each other, whether you're older or younger. Respect is very, very important. And when there's respect and there are boundaries, setting boundaries from the beginning, and respect and proper communication, just like Mel said, don't bother taking things out on the other person. Go lock the door in your bedroom and say, what was that about that happened today when we went out? Why was it? And if he tried to justify what he's done, then make it very clear that you didn't appreciate that, you don't like that. And if it happens again, then know that that man does not even want peace at home. But not addressing it, or addressing it aggressively, or telling your mother-in-law off in front of his son or other people. That's a no-no. But the only person you have to address these things with is your spouse, to be quite honest. And then both of you will decide how you're going to handle things for peace to reign, bearing in mind that it's both of you that will be in that house for the rest of your life. Your mother-in-law maybe came to visit or whatever, and she's eventually going to go, unless there's a situation where your mother-in-law lives with you in the house all the time, and which personally, no matter how much I love any of my daughter-in-laws, please, you and your husband go and live, if possible, live a little bit far from where I live. When you come, I welcome you. When I come, you welcome me. And that's the type of relationship.
Really?
Yes. Oh no, I'm not one of these people who say, "Oh, my mother or my children live down the road, and I'm getting some shopping. Let me see if they need anything." No. I have no. Because that sometimes brings this kind of thing. But if it's working for some people, let it work for them. But for me, I'm not that kind. I don't want that. Yeah, I love them to bits, but they let them figure it out themselves, like I figured mine out. I came into this UK when I had them all here on my own. Nobody. I was lucky that my mother-in-law visited once and spent so many months with us, and it was fantastic. But apart from that, I did it on my own. So let them do their own thing, and they live a bit far away from me. And when I'm ready to visit them, I'll visit. When they're ready to visit, they visit, we'll chat and all the rest of it, so that everybody will know their boundaries. And that's me personally. That's how I choose to be. Yeah. What did okay, so it depends on, okay, I've read that one. Exactly, both sides needs to show respect. Absolutely. Fun with Lexi, thank you. I thought I wanted to hear from you, but you said that you're super busy. Okay, but you're listening. That's fine. Yo-Yo's well, thank you. and no problems at all. That type of relationship can work, yeah, for anyone. No, no, that's the thing. You can't be walking on eggshells on a relationship. You can't. You can be walking on eggshell. Oh, I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to say now. You have to be yourself. You just have to, be normal. There's a lot of problems around the world. Then for you to come and be walking on eggshell in your own home because you have a daughter-in-law who does not respect you, or you have a mother-in-law who does not like you, who picks on everything you do. No, and you have a husband who is in the middle and looking lost because he doesn't know what to do because he's still a boy and he can't handle it. Then that's a recipe for disaster. Yeah. Before Mel, please, before you say something, I just want to remind us, please, next week Sunday on Ifechi Health and Wellness, Ifechi Health and Wellness will be 1 year that day. I'm going to do some giveaway, and I'm going to give an update. I'm going to give an update, some very important update that day. I'm going to do a giveaway just to bless some people. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. So it's going to be 4 p.m. UK time next week Sunday. I don't know the nature of the giveaway, how it's going to be, but you can't just get it for nothing. You have to answer some very difficult questions. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about that more next Sunday. Oh, Linda is here. Linda Nenya, thank you so much for coming. Linda is a young mom. I love it when younger people, I want to hear your own point of view. I know we're about to round up, but I want to hear from you before Mel says something, and then we can round up. Thank you so
Hi,
much, Linda.
Ma. Happy
Hello.
Sunday. Happy Sunday.
Same to you. Same to you. Thank you so much for coming.
Why I climb this place is that if everyone is saying about mother-in-law, I um I don't have that. How will I say it? I got married and I move out immediately. I just stay with my mother-in-law for a few days. So,
Mm,
but what I'm hearing about people talk about their mother-in-law, when I heard about it, I say, oh my God. Ha. Because I talk to my mother-in-law like this on phone. She call me Nenyenwa. Whenever she
mm,
call me this Nenyenwa, it melts my heart so much that I said, how I wish she's here with me. But why
mm.
I climb up is one of my Indian friend was, Indians, they are so conservative and they live
Mm.
with their
Oh
all family,
yes.
their
They,
joint family.
yeah, I don't know how they do it, but they do, and sometimes it
They
works out for
do,
them
they
very well.
do.
Yes. Mm.
It's work out sometimes, why it doesn't work out sometimes for them.
Yes. Yes.
So,
I know
and
one that is very happy. Mm.
this lady in question is pregnant.
Mm.
But the story she told me, that's why I said I must be here to ask if all these things exist, because I don't feel if it's really existing between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. She is pregnant, but the
Mm.
way the mother-in-law is treating her, it's just meant for her to even take the mother-in-law to bathroom and wash, make her to bathe. You
Mm.
understand?
Mm.
Someone that was pregnant is supposed to be pampered. But
Mm.
the thing is that their sons are always mommy boy. Whatever mommy say,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
it's final.
Mm.
It's final. So by the time she's
Yes.
finished telling me all these things, that she's walking in eggshell around her
Mm.
mother-in-law, that she can't
See?
even wait. She can't
You
wait
see?
for her mother-in-law to go so that her mother will come for, she's
Hi.
about to give birth. She can't
Mm.
wait, because the thing is, she don't even know if it's the pregnancy she's passing through or the stress
Mm.
of the mother-in-law she's passing
Yeah.
through. So
Yeah.
all these things, I was not like, does it really exist? Because
Mm.
I don't know how the relationship people have with their mother-in-law, and my own stand is it depends on the husband. Because
Yeah.
if your mother-in-law is treating your wife bad and you
Absolutely.
kept quiet, then
Yeah.
I don't know, you're supposed to show the respect, put the boundary
Yes.
between two of them. If they want to live together, they live in peace. If they don't want to live together, you can't leave your wife for the sake of your mother now. You have to address the issue between
Yes.
your mother and mother-in-law so that there will be peace together. You understand? So
Yes.
I don't know. That's why I said let me share and hear from people how they feel with their mother-in-law, because I've not been with my mother-in-law for quite, I don't know, so long, so long.
Yeah.
But the way where my co-wives and they cooperate. I even get jealous that how I wish I'm even there. The way she treats my co-wives.
Yes. Oh, yes. You have great mothers, mother-in-law that take their own, as their those daughter-in-laws as their own. But when you talk
Yeah.
about this group where you live, they do that. In fact, our neighbor here, her son is only 23 or 24, and she's already found they're getting married, and she told me they're going to live together, and
Mm.
that they are trying to expand. Yes, they're going to live together, and this, so you can imagine his son is only 23, 24. And I say, why so early? Why is he marrying that early? Yeah, because we don't want them to mess around because they're Muslims. We want them to get married on time and start, and then they're going to live with you. Oh, yes, that's how we do it, and all the rest of it.
That's
So what
how
I'm
they
trying to
do
say,
it.
that's what they do. But it doesn't work sometimes. Sometimes it works because they are just internalizing things because that's what they think they should internalize, and that's how it should be. But some of them who are able to speak out, one person spoke to me, a client of mine, and she was complaining bitterly, just like what you said. When she's unwell herself, nobody cares because she's a wife, she's younger. When she's pregnant, nobody cares because you are the wife, you should be looking after the older ones. And it's not good. That's why I say I will not encourage anybody. In as much as I love you as my daughter-in-law, I will not encourage anybody to come and live with me, or me to go for us all to live together and be mingling. It's not just not going to work for me. No matter what, there's bound to be. My mother-in-law did not. I did not go and start living with her, and my husband, and all living all together. That no matter that love that we have for each other, there will be time that everybody will. There will be tension. Two women cannot just mingle like that, and then the husband being all the time listening to the mom, what the mom said. Did you not hear what my mom said just now? And you're still there. Things like that. It won't work for me, and I won't encourage it. People, when you're married, marry and live with your husband. If your mother-in-law comes, let it be like a visit, or you visit. No chance of living together. I love my own space, of course. I won't even encourage, I won't even think about it. Living together for what now? No, no, no. Marriage is living and cleaving. That's the only place that daughter-in-law got it right. He said, yes, your Bible says you live and cleave. Yes, you live and cleave in that respect. But that doesn't mean that you have to disrespect your mother-in-law. But living together is a no-no for me. I won't even encourage it, because no matter how you think that you love each other, one day there'll be big problem. People might be internalizing things and trying to cope. When it busts, you'll be like, oh my God. And I won't encourage it. I won't encourage it. You shouldn't
But
live in.
now, the case that Naya just said, I feel like, I think it's part of their culture, their tradition. And
No,
Mm,
when
it's
when
part
they're
of their
talking
culture. Indians here.
their
It's part
culture.
of
Okay.
exactly, so
you will see four siblings married
Mm,
with the same wife, and they are
okay.
all living together. So
Culture.
I,
Yeah.
I I'm so amazed. I don't know if I'm not jealous, so because how can you be living with four different in-laws with their mother-in-law in the same house? Ah, basketballs every day now. Ah.
of course,
Yeah,
that's
I
but the thing
can't.
is, do you have a choice? Most of those women, they don't have a choice.
Choice,
Because yes,
yes.
that's the thing. So it's almost like the mother-in-law is like the demigod in the family,
Mm.
the mother of the husband. So whatever
Mm,
that woman says is what is going to happen, because that's
What
what the culture
happens?
supports. If you remember, you will see some of these other people that do the honor buying. You've heard of this honor buying where they buy their own child because
yes.
of So it's also like
Yes.
what is part of the culture. So if you happen to marry someone, for me, what I would say, if you're a woman and you know you're open to marrying from anywhere, you don't care, it mustn't be from your country or your race or whatever, then you
Mm,
have to really take your time. If you now fall in love with someone, for example, okay, we're using Indians as an example now. So if you now fall in love with someone that is Indian and you are not Indian, try to study, get to know everything about their culture and what you need to do, and see
mm.
if you can deal with it. If you know you cannot live with your mother-in-law, then don't even marry that man.
Enter.
Find someone
Yes.
else from some other.
Absolutely. Since
Yes,
it's the
that's what
culture,
I would say.
yes, you have to. Yeah, definitely. All these have to be agreed, and and understand that that's what's going to happen before you go in. And then when you go in, you have to manage what you get there because you are well informed. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mel, for your input. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Juba, thank you for coming. We are just rounding up. We're supposed to have finished 10 minutes ago. But yes, thank you, everyone. I see you all and I appreciate you all for coming. Just one last word, Mel, before we round up.
So this will be a quick one. When I talked about daughter-in-laws, that because they've learned a whole lot of stuff while growing up, and sometimes some of them come in with all this, I have to keep my mother-in-law at bay, I have to be the boss, I have to do all of that. But now I would say mother-in-laws too need to unlearn some of the things, mostly the ones from our side, which we
Yes.
feel like because I'm the mom of the boy, so I'm in charge in my
Mm,
own husband's house, and I'm also in charge in my son's home.
Wow.
People need to understand that no, it doesn't work that way. Your son is going to do his thing with his family. He's starting a new
yes.
family, and you do not have a say there. You only have a say in your own husband's home. Respect your son and believe that you've raised him all those years. You've raised him to be a
Yes.
good and strong man that will be able to make good decisions. And because of the good decisions that he can make, he has chosen a perfect wife for himself, and just allow them to go ahead and make some mistakes. Then you can come in to correct, but don't always be there to boss them around. That's what I have to
Absolutely.
say. Thank you, Mama, for having me.
Thank you so much for your wonderful
Thank
input, Mel.
you.
I appreciate that
Bye.
so much. Thank you. And Linda, I know you've said something about it, but is there anything else as a young mom that you want to say before we conclude? Linda, is she not is still okay? I think she's still there. Okay, maybe she's not. Versatile of Francis, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to say any last word you say before we round up because we need to
Okay.
close now.
Concerning the mother-in-law stuff,
Mm,
the only thing is, if you're young girl, you're watching. First of all, you have to take your mother-in-law as your own mother, because
mhm.
when you take her as your own mother, show your respect, but also create your own boundary too. Not everything you can tolerate, because there's something that if a mother-in-law does, it will break your heart. So you have to stick by your rules. Love your
Mm,
mother-in-law like you love your own mother. That's the only thing. And
yes.
for the husbands, if you're watching also, there's some level of argument or topics that need to be that needs boundaries. You should not let your mother-in-law to overshadow your wife, because it's for better for worse. Your mother is living with her husband and you're living with your wife, so you should also put a boundary to some things. Show her respect. Not that if your mother-in-law is bashing your wife, you all, instead of putting a control to that, you also, like what I watched. Sorry, ma'am. So sorry to say this. I watched something that really pissed me off about this mother-in-law, daughter-in-law stuff on
Mm,
Facebook. The
mm.
wife was the mother-in-law was insulting the wife, and the husband also, on top of that, is also insulting the wife, calling her useless names, that she's good for nothing, in front of her own mother. So
Ah,
it's why the movie, I know it's a drama to teach people lesson, and I pray it doesn't happen real life, because I felt so
ah,
bad for the wife.
there's nothing that is not happening in this world. You may be surprised that it's happening. Some
Hmm,
some men are like that. They're not man enough. Before they're one of those ones that just want to get married because my mates are getting married, and they'll
hmm,
just go there and remain being a boy, and it's not good. It's not good. You don't have to rush. Like we are doing, said in Yoyo's live stream yesterday. You don't have to rush into marriage because my mates are rushing into marriage. There's a lot involved. You have to be all screwed on. You have to have that wisdom, have that kind of mindset to be able to handle marriage and all that comes with it. If you have a troublesome wife or a troublesome mom, then and you're not prepared and you're not mature enough, you're going to be all over the place. There's no way you can handle things. And then that means your own home will not be stable. The home where you are born will not be stable because your mom will be there telling everybody that she's capable of telling about my son. since she married to that woman, he has stopped doing this, he has stopped doing that. Everybody would now start talking about that particular lady without even knowing hearing from the other side, So we have to be very, very measured. Marriage is not for boys and girls, and it requires you to really be on your toes and understand fully before you get in and communicate. If your mom is doing something that you're not happy about, not in front of your wife, call her later on, you talk with your mom and say, Mom, this, and she will be able to understand, but not telling your mom off in front of your wife. What do you expect your wife to then do to her? So we have to be balanced. For when there's problem with daughter-in-law and mother-in-law, the person in the middle is the son, which is the husband, and he must take control. He must be able to know how to handle it without damaging things more. Because there's a way he will handle it, he will damage things more. Yes, the Bible says that you live and cleave, you two have become one, but at the same time, you still come from a family, you still are delivered by somebody, and then the mother-in-law should also know that your son is now married and has his own family, and that respect should be there. There should be boundaries. Some of them may say that some of them are like jealous of the wife of their son. I'm like, excuse me, what does that mean? Jealous of what? It doesn't make sense to me. But I hear some of these things sometimes, and it doesn't add up. What are you jealous of? You have your own husband. You're married to your own husband. Maybe if your husband is no longer there, at least you are married before you had that son. What are you jealous of? Really, I don't understand that, but I hear that sometimes. Anyway, thank you so much, Linda. Thank you, Mel, for coming up. Thank you, everybody in the chat. And yes, Visitor Frances, thank you for coming. And we are just rounding up. Lady Posh, we are also rounding up. We've been here for a little bit longer than we planned. So I'm going to log off shortly. And if you're just coming now, we had some interesting discussions. There's a case study that we used to discuss today. And you can please rewatch later on to get the hang of what we have discussed today. Oh, Gores Corner is here. We are just running off. Gores, please replay for me so you can understand what we have said today. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I appreciate you all. I'm sure we have benefited from one or two things. Let us keep working on our relationships. Let us keep working on our marriages. Let us keep being good mother-in-laws and good daughter-in-laws like yourselves, young ladies. You may not live with your own mother-in-laws, which is, thank God that we're not from that culture where you have to live with me. I don't want anybody to live with me because everybody should go and manage their own home. When I visit, I'm glad that I'm not from that culture, but do your own thing and do it properly. Treat another person the way you want to be treated. Treat your mother-in-law the way you want to be treated, and vice versa. And all this nonsense should not be happening. And the husband of the home, make sure that you're man enough to handle these things and put a stop to nonsense in the beginning before it gets too much. That's where I'm going to leave it today. Mary Queen Longman, thank you for coming. We are rounding up. Kindly replay if you can, so you can get the gist of what we have talked about today. And bye, sis, my sister. Yes, thank you so much, sis. Thank you so much for your support. Bye. Oh my God, you see, that's what happens with the live stream. Sometimes when you're rounding up, more people are coming in. Victory Activities TV, thank you so much for coming. We are rounding up now. You're supposed to have rounded up 20 minutes ago, but you know how it is with live stream, yet you want to round up and other things are coming up. But I think we have had a meaningful discussion today. And as I say, one last word, I'll replay. Okay, thank you so much, Gores. Please do that. Yes, have a blessed weekend, everybody. Yes, have a blessed weekend, everyone. And I'm going to, before we round up, I'm going to play Anna by Official's song. And as we are playing it, we can start logging off. And I appreciate each and every one of you so much for being here today. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Thank you, Yo-Yo. Thank you, Musisi. Thank you, Estelle family, Niger daughter Linda. Thank you for coming out. Thank you. That's from Anna Agbaye official. Let us keep doing what we can in our families. It is well with all of us. I'll see you in Ifechi Health and Wellness next Sunday when we celebrate 1 year of that channel, and we have a few things coming out that Sunday on that channel. So let's see. Let's meet next Sunday as we go away with this Anna Agbaye official. That's her other song. We sang the other one when we are starting. This is the last. Aye. Yes. Let us keep enjoying our homes. Do what we have to do. Anna Agbaye official. Never stop. Hey. Your word is ever powerful. Excellent Jehovah. Mighty man in battle. Your power is forevermore. Oh. You are bigger than the biggest Lord. Yes. You are greater than the greatest Lord. That's from Anna Agbaye official. Mighty man in battle. Your power is forevermore. You are bigger than the biggest Lord. Yes. You are greater than the greatest Lord. May God continue to be with us all in our homes as we manage our homes and our relationship and our children. Catch those children young. Catch them young. Yes, I think that's it. That one is finished. Bye, everyone. With this song, I'm going to say goodbye, everyone. Have a very blessed week. Whatever it is that you're looking for that is in God's will, we are going to achieve and beyond. I'm going to see you at Ifechi Health and Wellness next week, Sunday, 4 p.m. UK time. Bye, Nati. Bye, Estelle, AA, Mary Queen, Longman, Nancy, Omwebo, Peaceful Family, Wisdom TV, Victory Activities TV, Rose, AA, Peaceful, Yemzis, Linda, Musisi, Kizito, and AA were actually here before I even started. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Rose, Estelle, every one of you in the background, I appreciate you all. We are ending with this song, and I'll see you by God's grace next week, Sunday, Ifechi Health and Wellness, when we are going to be celebrating 1 year of that on that channel, and we'll have a major update, and we're going to do a little giveaway to support people who have been supporting us and these 2 channels. I appreciate you all. I do not take your love for granted. And may all that you're looking for that is in God's will start looking for you as we enter this new week. And I'll see you. Bye, and God bless.